The road is narrow. The trees press in on both sides. Roman soldiers march in a long, broken line, armor heavy, shields wet, wagons stuck in mud. This is not how legions are meant to fight. Then it happens. A scream. A spear flies out of the forest, then another, and another. The trees are alive with enemies they cannot see. Orders are shouted, but formations collapse. Shields bump wagons, horses panic. Men fall and disappear into the undergrowth. 3 Roman legions have entered this forest, and before the march is over, Rome will lose them all.
This disaster did not begin with arrows or spears. It began with trust. The Roman army is led by Publius Quintilius Varus, the governor of Rome's new lands east of the Rhine. Varus is no reckless fool. He is experienced, loyal, and confident, exactly the kind of man Rome sends to turn conquered territory into a proper province. To him, Germania is already defeated. What remains, he believes, is order, law, and taxes. At his side walks Arminius. Arminius is a Germanic noble of the Cherusci tribe, but he is also something else. He has been trained by Rome. He speaks Latin, he has served in Roman armies and earned Roman rank. To Varus, Arminius is an ally, a guide, proof that Rome's system works. But Arminius sees the situation differently. He knows Roman habits, Roman discipline, Roman weaknesses. He knows how legions march, how they fight, and how helpless they become when order breaks down. As the army moves deeper into unfamiliar land, Varus listens to Arminius' advice without suspicion. Rome believes it is being led to peace, but in truth, it is being led into a trap designed by one of its own.
By the year AD 9, the Roman Empire believes it is winning in Germania. For years, Roman armies have crossed the Rhine River, building forts, roads, and supply lines deep into unfamiliar land. Tribal leaders have been defeated, negotiated with, or absorbed into Rome's system. To Romanize, Germania looks like Gaul once did, dangerous, but manageable. This is why Varus is here. His mission is not conquest, but control. He is enforcing Roman law, collecting taxes, and settling disputes among the tribes. Soldiers are still present, but they are no longer marching as if they are in enemy territory. This is supposed to be a peaceful province in the making. But Germania is not Gaul. There are no cities like Rome expects, no wide roads built for legions. Dense forests cover the land, broken by marshes and hills that swallow sound and movement. Local tribes know every path, every ridge, every place to disappear. What's at stake is enormous. If Rome succeeds, the empire will expand permanently beyond the Rhine, reshaping northern Europe. If it fails, Rome's northern frontier will collapse backward. Varus believes the hard part is over, but the land and its people are not finished resisting. The march that doomed the legions began as a routine decision. Late in the campaigning season of AD 9, reports reach Varus of unrest somewhere ahead. A local uprising, he is told. Nothing unusual. Small rebellions happen often in newly controlled territory. Varus believes a show of force will end it quickly. Arminius supports this idea. He warns that the situation is urgent and urges Varus to move fast before resistance spreads. He even offers to ride ahead, supposedly to gather allied troops and secure the route. To Varus, this is administration, not war. The legions beside him are not an invasion force, they are guardians of order. Germania has been subdued. What remains is governance, roads, taxes, law. Rome's system always wins in the end. It always has. So Varus orders the army to change course. The column is massive. 3 full legions, 17, 18, and 19, march together, along with auxiliary troops, cavalry, servants, families, and supply wagons. This is not a battle formation. It is the movement of an army that does not expect to fight. The chosen route leads away from open ground and into rough, forested terrain. Narrow paths replace Roman roads. Hills and marshes slow the wagons. The column stretches out for kilometers, breaking the legions into pieces that cannot easily support one another. Then Arminius leaves. He rides off, claiming he must gather Germanic allies. He never returns. What Varus does not yet realize is that there is no rebellion ahead. The rebellion is already around him, waiting, hidden, and ready to strike.
At first, the attacks are small. A few spears fly out of the trees. A handful of Roman soldiers fall. The enemy vanishes before orders can even be shouted. To experienced legionaries, it feels like harassment, dangerous but manageable. But the forest is working against them. The road is narrow and uneven. Wagons bog down in mud. Horses slip and panic. Shields knock into trees. Units lose sight of each other. The long marching column stretches even farther, and discipline begins to fray. Then the attacks grow bolder. Germanic warriors strike in waves, using the terrain as a weapon. They attack from slopes, from behind earthen walls, from places the Romans cannot see or reach. When the Romans try to form their famous battle lines, there is simply no space. Trees block shields, marshes break ranks, commands cannot travel down the column. Every Roman strength becomes a weakness. Heavy armor, designed for open field combat, drags men down in mud. Long supply trains turn into obstacles. Officers struggle to locate their own units. Messengers are killed before they can deliver orders.
Varus orders defensive camps to be built for the night. Even this, a basic Roman skill, becomes a desperate act. The camps are rushed, poorly placed, and vulnerable. Rain soaks men and equipment. Wounded soldiers cry out in the darkness. Somewhere beyond the firelight, enemy voices echo through the trees. By morning, the march resumes, but morale is cracking. The Romans are no longer moving toward a goal. They are trying to survive. Day after day, the pattern repeats. Advance, ambush, confusion, losses. Each attempt to push forward only leads deeper into danger. The enemy never stands still long enough to be crushed. They choose when to fight and when to disappear. This is not a single battle. It is a slow, controlled destruction. The legions are bleeding men, energy, and confidence. They cannot retreat safely. They cannot advance with strength. And with every step, the forest tightens around them, turning Rome's most disciplined army into scattered, exhausted targets. By now, it is clear. This is not chaos. This is a plan, and it is working. At some point during the chaos, the truth becomes impossible to ignore. Arminius is gone. At first, Roman officers assume he has simply failed to return. Messengers are sent. None come back. Then reports arrive, whispers from scouts, glimpses through the trees. Germanic warriors are not fighting as scattered tribes. They are coordinated, organized, waiting in the right places at the right times. This is no spontaneous rebellion. It is an ambush planned in advance. The realization hits hard. The man guiding the army knew exactly where to lead it. Every narrow path, every choke point, every place where the legions could not form up. Arminius did not abandon the column by accident. He left to command the attack. Panic spreads quietly, then openly. Roman officers try to restore order. Units are ordered to regroup, but many no longer know where the others are. Signals fail. Horns are drowned out by the forest. The enemy strikes supply wagons, kills pack animals, and isolates smaller groups. Men who fall behind are cut down without mercy. At night, fear takes over. The Romans can hear movement beyond the campfires. Voices, laughter, war cries echo through the trees, reminding them they are surrounded. Sleep becomes impossible. Wounds fester. Morale collapses. Some soldiers realize the truth before it is spoken aloud. They are not marching through enemy territory. They are trapped inside it. By now, the legions are no longer fighting as legions. They are fragments, bands of exhausted men trying to stay alive in a landscape that offers no safety. The betrayal has done its work. Rome's greatest weapon, discipline, is breaking. And once discipline is gone, the forest does the rest.
Eventually, even Varus understands the truth. The legions cannot escape. The terrain offers no open ground to regroup. The roads behind them are blocked or unsafe. The enemy controls the forest, the hills, and every path forward. Each attempt to push through only leads to more losses. Each pause allows the attackers to gather again. Leadership begins to fail. Officers are killed or wounded. Units act on instinct instead of orders. The army is no longer moving as one force, but as scattered groups struggling through mud and trees. Supplies are nearly gone. Weapons are damaged. Men are exhausted, injured, and soaked from days of marching and fighting. Morale collapses under the weight of fear and confusion. At some point during the final phase of the disaster, Varus is wounded. Around him, the army he commanded is dissolving into fragments. Standards lost, officers dead, men fighting without formation, without orders. A Roman governor does not allow himself to be paraded in chains. He does not become a trophy in a tribal triumph. If the legions must die, he will not live to witness their humiliation. Varus falls on his sword, and with him dies the last illusion that this can still be saved. With their commander dead, any remaining structure collapses. There will be no breakout, no rescue, no second chance. From this moment on, the fate of the legions is sealed. What follows is not a battle in the Roman sense of the word, but a final, brutal reckoning, one that will echo through Roman history for generations.
With Varus dead, the last hope of coordination disappears. Small groups of Roman soldiers make desperate stands wherever the terrain allows, on ridges, behind fallen wagons, along muddy embankments. But without formation, without support, these efforts only delay the inevitable. The Germanic warriors close in from every direction, choosing their moments carefully. Some Romans are killed where they stand. Others throw down their weapons, hoping for mercy. Ancient sources suggest few receive it. Captives are taken, scattered, and never return to Rome. One by one, the symbols of Roman power fall. The legionary eagle standards, the sacred heart of each legion, are lost in the chaos. To Rome, this is more than a military defeat. It is a spiritual and political catastrophe. An army can be rebuilt. Lost eagles cannot be ignored. By the time the fighting ends, 3 legions no longer exist. 17,000 to 20,000 men are gone, soldiers, auxiliaries, and followers alike. The roads are silent, the camps are abandoned. The forest swallows armor, weapons, and bodies. When news finally reaches Rome, it will be hard to believe. 3 Roman legions marched into Germania. None marched out. The empire has suffered its worst defeat in generations, and it happened far from any city, in a place Rome thought it already controlled.
The shock spreads faster than the news itself. Along the Rhine frontier, Roman forts brace for attack. Garrisons are reinforced. Panic replaces confidence. For a moment, it seems possible that the Germanic tribes might surge westward, straight into Roman Gaul. But the invasion never comes. Instead, the damage is psychological. Rome has lost not just soldiers, but certainty. The belief that legions are unstoppable is gone. Survivors are almost non-existent. Those captured are enslaved, executed, or vanish into the interior, never to return. Families waiting for news will wait forever. Rome reacts quickly. New armies are raised. Experienced generals are sent north. The frontier is stabilized, but only barely. And one detail reveals just how deep the wound is. The numbers of the destroyed legions, 17, 18, and 19, are never used again. In the Roman world, that is an admission of trauma. Some losses are too great to replace.